Since Hunter x Hunter manga will be back soon, I hope, I have decided to put together this Iceberg video about the most intriguing and mysterious stuff in Hunter x Hunter. So without further ado, let's begin. Level 1. The chapter Black Tape and the Phantom Troupe. If you are having trouble understanding, you must be unfamiliar with Yu Yu Hakusho, another manga Togashi wrote a while back. The chapter Black Tape in Yu Yu Hakusho is a long compilation said to contain the atrocities humanity has committed. Anyone who watches it is sure to go insane and turn evil. What does it have to do with Hunter x Hunter, you might say? Well, hear me out. Before they were big scary villains, the Phantom Troupe were a band of innocent children who lived in Meteor City and gathered tapes from the trash in order to dub them, which turned out to be really entertaining until their little friend Sarasa gets abducted and unalived in the most gruesome of ways. The perpetrators left the body along with a message. Chrollo insisted on not revealing the message. I will take those words to my grave. Seeing as the crime was done to convey a message, he deduced that the wrongdoers must have filmed what they did. So he asked his friends to be patient for 3 years in order for him to come up with a proper plan to avenge Sarasa. 3 years later, the Phantom Troupe under the leadership of Chrollo decided to turn Meteor City into a hotbed for showcasing illegal tapes, in hopes of someday drawing the perpetrators. The follow-up to this plotline is untold. However, some theorize that in the years Meteor City was an exhibit of illicit tapes, the Phantom Troupe came across the chapter Black Tape or something like that, and by watching it they became the monsters they are today, capable of annihilating whole clans without feeling any remorse. Level 2. Shayla. Who the hell is she, you might say? She is a girl from Meteor City who befriended the Phantom Troupe in their early days, but did not join them. And she also is the girl who got lost in the woods just to stumble upon the Luxo province and meet with Kurapika and his best friend Pyro days before the big incident. And she probably is the same person who discovered the scene a few days later. Coincidence? Probably not. Now, Shayla used to participate in dubbing tapes along with the Phantom Troupe, and she knew and cared for Sarasa. But after hearing the troupe's intentions of going after the criminals, she sadly goes away and refuses to be part of what they will become. Shayla seemed to be obsessed with a book called The Hunter, which narrates the adventures of a hunter in the wild. The same book she gifted Kurapika upon meeting him in the forest. What she was doing there days before the horrifying event is unknown. Some speculate she was secretly working with the Phantom Troupe, others say she orchestrated the whole thing for financial gain, because maybe she desperately needed money to go after the things that were told in The Hunter. Altogether, it is very difficult to give a solid guess about the motives of Shayla, because except from the 2 events I mentioned prior, we never see or hear about her. Level 3. We will accept anything you leave here, but don't ever take anything away from us. That is the motto for Meteor City, and it is also the message the Phantom Troupe left behind them after committing the horrible extermination of the Kurta clan. This phrase most likely went over your head the first time you heard it, but if we were to contemplate it for a second, why would the Phantom Troupe leave this specific message? What did the Kurtas, a clan that lived peacefully isolated from the world, take from Meteor City or the Phantom Troupe? Did Shayla have something to do with this? Did she do something and then use the Kurtas as a scapegoat? I don't know. Level 4. Gon's mother. In chapter 66 of the manga, while Gon and Killua are listening to Jing's tape, the latter offered to tell Gon about his mother, but Gon simply refused to listen because to him Mitu-san is his mother. Except from this chapter, we never get to hear about Gon's mother, but according to one particular theory, Gon has no mother. Let me explain. I'm sure you are familiar with Greed Island, the Nen game that takes place on a real island and mimics the mechanisms of an RPG game that uses cards to achieve certain tasks. Now let me remind you of a certain card, the Pregnancy Stones card, ranked S in difficulty, numbered 007. This card allows the player to become pregnant by carrying a stone for a month. Regardless of gender, the player can choose the baby's sex using specialized stones. Now I think most of you get what I'm hinting at. Jin used Greed Island to create Gon. Others theorize that Jin used multiple cards to achieve this, like this panda card that will get pregnant instead of the player, then take care of the baby, something like that. I won't call this theory wild. At first it might seem crazy, but right now I think it's quite reasonable. Jin is not your typical Joe. Traditional methods are boring to him, so perhaps he wanted to use something unorthodox like Greed Island to have a child, because as he says, It's more fun that way.